and me from the back of a jacked up tailgate, sitting there watching all these pretty things.
Are you ready, Joe? Are you ready? Okay. Welcome back to the Five. This Thursday is a busy day. In addition to the president's much-anticipated job speech, the newly appointed super committee is meeting to start cutting the federal deficit by $1.5 trillion. This first meeting will go through opening statements and proposed committee rules, and then next Tuesday they'll meet to begin discussing what to actually cut. And in the interest of transparency, after this summer's debt ceiling debacle, both of these meetings will be in public. I have said for a month since this was announced on this show that I believe that they're going to get a deal. And the reason I do was put together wonderfully in an article I read, which said that unlike the Simpson-Bowles Committee, which required a two-thirds vote to get passage, this requires only a majority, so 7 out of 12. The people on this committee so far are acting very reasonably. They don't have to start from scratch. There's a lot of proposals out there that they'll give them a good beginning, I think, for a deal. And if not, they all know if they don't get a deal, we're going to head to a double-dip recession. And they don't want to take responsibility for that. And finally, I'd say the American people are dying for a deal. They want a deal. Unlike the Tea Party, or people extreme on my side, they want a deal. And I think a deal can get done. It's got to get done, or the market's going to react negatively, and everybody's going to get hurt politically.
But they're putting a lot of pressure on themselves by calling themselves super.
Well, they didn't call them themselves.
They should call themselves a pretty good committee of adults. How's that?
That's good, Greg. Thank you very much. That's very helpful.
Yeah, that was ostentatious. We're called Super Five.
Can we stick on this thing for a second? Eric, what do you think?
I'm trying to figure out why you think the Tea Party, given what they have and what they have to work with, would be against the deal. I mean, the Tea Party's looking for spending cuts of $1 trillion.
Well, because there's going to be some revenue enhancement in this. That's the only way this deal gets through. There has to be some revenue enhancement.
The alternative is bad for the Tea Party as well. The alternative is across the board sweeping cuts in areas that they may not like.
Nobody wants that to happen.
I would say you can't go ahead and say the Tea Party is against. But can I just make one quick point? Yeah. After this 7 of the 12 agree on places to cut, here's the issue, though. It goes back to the House. Now, does the House say no revenue enhancements? And that's really one of the reasons
why there's no amendments. Let's keep
will work.
There are no amendments. It's straight up and down. And I think there are enough Tea Party people who are reasonable, who will accept some tax reform issues that will enhance some revenue, and with significant cuts in spending. I think a deal is going to get done. I think politically it's in everybody's interest to get it done. But let's move on to...
Did you actually say there's some reasonable Tea Party people, Bob?
I do. I think there's some reasonable... Yeah, I do.
I agree with you, Bob. Paul Weinstein, who wrote this article, sums up a lot of the good reasons why it may succeed. However, one thing that he left out, money.
Right.
Whatever special interest group has the most money, and they're organizing already to lobby the super committee, are the ones that are going to prevent the cuts from being made. Right now you have defense contractors, right, for one series of cuts, and you have a lot of the healthcare industry lobbying right now. And they are lobbying hard to make sure that, you're right, Bob, the triggers don't go into effect.
That's a very good point, that there are a lot of interests here who don't want to see in 2013 the automatic trigger cuts.
Then we're going to need a super.
Let's talk about the Tea Party. Let's talk about Romney for a second. One of my favorite subjects. Romney went, and I give him credit, addressed the Tea Party. Did not get one of the greatest receptions in the world. But does he really think he's going to be able to pull off some Tea Party support?
You know, he has to be optimistic. Why not? It's not impossible. This is a guy that perhaps the Tea Party is going to say, we want to beat Obama. And if they think Romney's their guy, that he's going to be able to coalesce the votes that they need in terms of independence, et cetera, and get Obama out of the White House, why wouldn't you want to support a guy that's going to win?
Well, that's a good point.
No way.
You don't
think? Way. He is so not Tea Party. He's nothing about Tea Party. I don't know why he showed up, why he wasted his time. The Tea Party isn't like anything Romney
But they'd hate him more if he didn't show up at all.
You know, the bigger government.
Well, Andrew, let's call this for what it is. This is down, with all due respect to Michelle Bachmann, this is down to a two-person race. It's going to be Perry versus Romney. The question is there enough desire to beat Obama, which I assume there is in the Republican Party, that some Tea Party people, if Romney looks like the best shot to beat Obama, that they'll go with Romney?
Can we take a listen to this, Bob? This is a great piece of sound of Romney taking a swipe at Perry, and this is from New Hampshire.
I don't think a career politician can fix what career politicians have messed up. I think it's going to take someone outside of politics, and I am to a great degree. And I'm going to use that experience to get America working again.
Boy, that takes some guts to say I'm not a career politician. I was only governor of the state of Massachusetts. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think that Romney's best bet is that Bachmann and Perry end up just clobbering each other and doing some damage and siphoning votes from the other one and end up splitting that Tea Party vote. If he does get in, Bob, I do think the Tea Party members are so disgusted with the president, they will do like a John McCain and hold their nose and vote.
Greg, you're a Tea Partier yourself.
Right? I
What do you
agree
think?
with you.
I don't have any affiliation, Bob, except I am pro-unicorn, and everybody knows that, and I don't hide that. Here's the thing.
And rainbows.
You gotta factor the media into this. Perry is going to have a harder time with the media than Romney is, and I think the Republican infrastructure will be worried about that more than anything. That there's more vulnerability with Perry than there is with Romney.
Yeah, well, I think that's right. And by the way, I think the Tea Party, Iowa's going to clear out the Tea Party candidate. They're going to decide either Bachman or Perry. And then you get to New Hampshire, then you go to South Carolina, where it's really important. The other thing is, in New Hampshire, you're allowed to have independents vote, unlike South Carolina, unlike Nevada. We have a lot more 2012 news coming your way. Michelle Bachmann, just mentioned, responds to Rick Perry's surge in the polls. And then, I love this one. Sarah Palin tells us what she thinks those polls are really for, baby. Stay with us. The 5 continues next. She likes the polls I like.
Virginia, baby, I don't care. Mexico on a wild hair. Have you ever seen cows?